China, June 30, 2025. A woman in Rongjiang, Guizhou was swept away by floodwaters into an underground garage while moving her car. She weighed less than 80 kilograms and escaped by swimming. She shared her valuable experience of escaping the flood, which many people admired. Her name is Zhao Tongyuan, 27 years old and the mother of 2-year-old twins. Although she is small, she is very strong. The car had just left the underground garage, and within a minute, water had flooded down. Zhao Tongyuan panicked and sat in the driver's seat. Water rushed in from both sides, and very quickly filled the car door. I knew I couldn't open the door and get out. I weighed less than 80 kilograms, and if I went out, I would definitely be swept away by the water. After calming down, Zhao Tongyuan opened the sunroof, climbed onto the roof of the car, reached for the garage toll booth, and climbed onto the roof of the car. She lay on the roof of her car and filmed the video. In the video, water was pouring down, hitting the walls in waves. The camera was pointed down, and her beloved pink car of 6 years was submerged in water. She called for help from friends and rescue teams, but the water was flowing too fast and outsiders could not get into the basement. The water level continued to rise, so she clung to a higher fire hose, waited until the water level stabilized before swimming out of the garage and escaping. On June 24, 2025, due to the combined effects of continuous heavy rainfall and upstream water discharge from hydropower dams, Rongjiang County, Guizhou Province, suffered a severe flood. The water levels of the Duliu River, Pingyang River, and Zhuhao River continued to rise rapidly, with a peak flow of 11,360 cubic meters per second. Many low-lying areas in the county were flooded, and the infrastructure of some towns was severely damaged, disrupting transportation, communications, power supply, and water supply. As of 11 a.m. on June 26, the flood had killed 6 people in the county. On June 29, Ms. Zhao Tongyuan spoke to the media, saying, "I have never seen a flood like this in my life. When I got home, I hugged my children tightly and kissed them repeatedly. I am still shaking with fear that I will not be able to see my children and relatives again in this flood disaster." Before that, around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning on June 24, someone texted me to go to the basement to move the car to another place. At that time, I was at home with 2 children and could not go out. I waited until after 8 o'clock in the morning, when my friend came to help me look after the children, and I went to the basement. The residential area where I live is near the riverbank, and I can see the river view. That day, I saw many official vehicles downstairs, and many people holding umbrellas and watching the water by the river. I went down to the underground garage and saw that my car was the only one left. I wanted to drive out and move it to a higher place for safety. When I got to the exit of the garage, half of the car was on flat ground and the other half was at the bottom of the slope, and the water was pouring down. The flood was very fast, so I called a friend and asked what to do. He said, "Don't worry, run if you can. If the water is too fast, don't go down, otherwise you will be swept into the underground garage." I also took a few seconds of video and sent it to him. Then the water came in from both sides. I only weigh 76 pounds, and the impact of the water was too great. If I ran out of the car, I would definitely be swept away. After hanging up the phone, water flowed in from the gap in the car door. I opened the sunroof and looked around, seeing a toll booth behind me. I turned the steering wheel all the way to make sure the back of the car would hit the toll booth. Fortunately, I have been driving for a long time, so I can predict the location and find the right place. The car crashed into the toll booth. I climbed out of the sunroof, and then reached up to the toll booth. I was on the toll booth for less than 3 minutes. I saw the water washing away the motorbike. I lay there not daring to get off. The water was still flowing down. I felt the toll booth was unsafe. I could not stay there anymore. I saw a fire hose on top, so I grabbed it and hung up. Then the toll booth was also washed away by the water. When the water had basically filled the underground garage and the water flow gradually stabilized. The water level was about 20 centimeters from the top of the underground garage. I thought I couldn't wait any longer. If I waited any longer, I might suffocate inside. So I held the phone in my mouth, looked at the light in front of me, swam to the wall first, and then swam out along the wall. After swimming out, I looked around. It was definitely not safe to stay on the tree because the water could rise at any time. I continued swimming along the wall. Not far away, I saw an outdoor air conditioning unit, and I immediately climbed up there. After going upstairs, I opened the corresponding window. This was the 3rd floor of a hotel, so I climbed into the room. There was no one in the hotel, but the room must have been occupied. I went into several rooms, looking for food, drinks, and clothes, and found a set of pajamas in one of the rooms. I took off my wet clothes, put on this dry pajama and wrapped myself in a blanket in the room. After my body warmed up, I wandered around looking for an exit. This hotel only had 3 floors. I couldn't find the stairs leading to the rooftop. After waiting for a while, I found that the hotel's carpet was wet because the flood water had also risen to the 3rd floor. So I didn't dare to stay there anymore. The 1st and 2nd floors of our community were shops, and the 3rd and above were residential areas. This hotel was located between these 2 shops, with one row of rooms facing the street and the other row facing the inner community. I walked to the room facing the inner residential area, climbed out the window and tried to swim back to the apartment building where I lived. By then, the water had already crept over the roofs of the cars in the residential area. I was small and my feet couldn't touch the ground. I swam towards my house, and when I got there, I saw that half of the apartment door had been washed away by the water. Luckily, the door was gone. While swimming, I kept thinking, if the door was sealed, how could I get in? The water was only 20 to 30 centimeters above the top of the door. I swam in and went up the stairs. The water was gone when I reached the 3rd floor. At that time, the power in my neighborhood was out. My house was on the 14th floor, but I climbed up. When I got home, my friend kept asking me how I was. I heard him say that after I called him in the car, he contacted the rescue team and they came down to rescue me. But the water was too fast and they couldn't get down. A while later, I got a call from the rescue team. They asked me if I was okay and said they came to rescue me. But they didn't see anyone. I immediately replied that I was home. I checked the time of the video. I saw water coming in from the car at about 8:40. 10 minutes later, the water pushed my car back. I started to save myself. In 2 minutes, I climbed out of the sunroof and onto the toll booth. At about 9:30, the water level stabilized and I started swimming out. In less than 10 minutes, I climbed into the hotel and didn't get home until after 10 o'clock. I posted the video online, and many people found it unbelievable and questioned me. I grew up by the river and learned to swim since I was a child. And almost all of my friends knew how to swim. Maybe because I come from the countryside and have done a lot of farm work. I didn't think climbing onto the roof or hanging from a fire hose would be so difficult. After returning home, I had many bruises on my body. Now, 4 days later, my thighs and arms are still sore. The floodwaters on the street began to recede around 5 or 6 p.m. that day. And it was not until midnight that they completely receded. The next day, I went downstairs and saw that the street was full of mud. The underground garage was almost blocked by mud. I still haven't seen my car until now. Since June 24th, there has been no water or electricity for 3 consecutive days, with intermittent signals, and we have been living off supplies from outside. After the water receded, I went downstairs to get supplies and brought back some instant noodles and mineral water. On June 25th, my father came to pick up the 2 children. My hometown was not affected by the disaster. My father told me to go back with him, but I wanted to stay and see how the car was handled. So I didn't go. I didn't tell my father what happened, afraid that he would worry. I had been driving this car for 6 years. This time it must have been abandoned. How should I say it? It's a pity, but life is more important. It's good to be alive. On June 28th, the dredging work was halfway done. I heard that the town was flooded again for the second time. I had never encountered such a big flood before. After the water receded that day, I went downstairs and saw chaos outside. I didn't cry when I left the garage, but I felt very sad and wanted to cry when I saw the situation outside.